Live from Citizen TV, this is Sunday Live with Victoria Rubadiri and Jeff Koinange.
And welcome to the very first Sunday in February. We have a great show for you today, as always.
Indeed, we do. Citizen Planet is on tonight. We're looking at a group of women who are taking matters into their own hands, increasing forest cover in the Mau Forest.
Nice, nice. Okay. What do you say? Start tweeting at Koinange Jeff.
At Vicky Rubadiri.
At Citizen TV Kenya. The hashtag is Sunday Live. Sunday Live begins right now.
Tonight.
Grief and sorrow. Embakasi death toll climbs to 6 as police pursue 7 suspects over illegal gas operations.
It is a heavy burden on our facilities here. And the people who are responsible for that, again, are the people at State House.
Trouble at Buadi Hospital. Services at health facility face paralysis over huge debt owed to suppliers.
Hiyo ni upuzi. Ni upuzi. Ile kamati yaweze kufanya kazi manake ilikuwa tayari imevunjwa na bunge.
Ignore the court order. Azimio leader Raila Odinga now tells Parliament to defy the court and proceed with the IEBC reconstitution roadmap.
Defying eviction order. Former provincial commissioner faces arrest over 1.3 billion shilling land scam.
And welcome to the broadcast. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Yulan Zale. Now, it is more sorrow and grief as the death toll from the deadly gas explosion in Embakasi climbed to 6 after 2 more people died while receiving treatment at the Kenyatta National Hospital.
Well, government spokesperson Isaac Mwaura said the 2 succumbed on Sunday morning while 52 others are still receiving treatment in various facilities. And as Mary Mwoki reports, the displaced families currently being hosted at the Embakasi Social Hall have appealed for help to enable their children continue with their learning, saying their books and school uniforms were consumed in the inferno.
3 days after the gas explosion fire in Embakasi destroyed lives and livelihoods, the Embakasi Social Hall has become the place of refuge for these families. But even though they shelter here, they don't know what is next for them. Mothers swaddling their babies while others look on pensively, anxiety about the future written on their faces. Mercy Waithera and Teresa Mayeka are filled with worry. As night falls and Monday approaches, they are worried about how their young ones will go to school. They say the school uniforms and learning materials went up in flames when the fire broke out.
Niko na watoto, mmoja anasoma Embakasi Primary, sijui ya kufanya ili kesho aweze kwenda kwa shule. Naomba usaidizi, nipate usaidizi vile nitaendeleza maisha na watoto wasome.
Walikuwa sawa enda kesho, sina nilichomekewa kila kitu. Hasa hata kukula ni serikali ilitusaidia, imetuleta hapa. Stress tuko nayo ni watoto kwenda shule na inafaa tukae kwa nyumba yetu tukipanga watoto wakienda shule. Hiyo tu ndio niko nayo, tunaomba serikali itusaidie kwenda mbele.
Government spokesperson Isaac Mwaura has, however, assured the affected families that the government is coordinating support to ensure that the learning of learners whose houses were burnt down will not be disrupted.
The number of children who need to go back to school tomorrow with no uniform, we are trying to ascertain the actual numbers, but certainly they will be from the 39, so that then we get to know what kind of support they can. And of course, they will have to go to school without the uniforms in the meantime, but we're estimating about 6,000 shillings for each person for 2-3 months, that cash transfer. That arrangement is being done with the local administration so that they are at least able to get out of the social hall.
Mwaura says the death toll from the fire tragedy has risen to 6 after 2 more people died while receiving treatment on Sunday. The government spokesperson adding that the government will continue supporting those affected even after being discharged from hospital, majority nursing severe burns.
The burns on the skin will have an effect on the kidney because the body discharges, waste through the skin. So there may be kidney complications, and already KNH is preparing for that, and KU referral, so that then we are able to take care of such, complications and many others that may arise as a result of this humanitarian emergency.
Mwaura has assured victims of the tragedy that the government will ensure the owner of the gas filling plant will compensate all the affected persons, even as the police pursue a criminal case against him. Mary Moki, Citizen TV.
Now, still on the Embakasi explosion, detectives are pursuing 7 suspects who are suspected to bear the greatest responsibility.
The 7, who include the proprietor of the facility, Derek Kimadi, and another director, Steve Kioko, the driver of the ill-fated truck that allegedly caused the explosion, and 4 suspended NEMA officials, are likely to face, among others, murder charges as the death toll following the fire climbs to 6. Kimadi, through his lawyer, has, however, defended himself against accusations saying he was running a garage, not a gas filling plant. This story was produced by Gatete Njoroge.
3 days after the gas explosion tragedy at Mradi area in Embakasi, detectives from the Nairobi County Police Headquarters are pursuing 7 suspects in connection to the incident, which has left 6 people dead and more than 200 others hospitalized. The suspects include Derek Kimathi, the proprietor of the illegal gas filling plant, Steve Kioko, who is Kimathi's partner, the driver of the truck that is suspected to have caused the explosion, whom they are yet to confirm whether he escaped or was among the casualties, and 4 NEMA officials who are suspended for allegedly issuing a license and procedurally to Kimathi's company. But even though police claim that the suspect has gone into hiding, Kimathi, through his lawyer, Wandogi Kirathe, has denied claims, saying he has been cooperating with police officers investigating the matter.
It is important to note that our client is not in hiding. He is available, he is within the public, and has been in touch with sections of the police.
Kimathi further denies reports that the site where the incident occurred was an illegal gas plant, stating that for years it was a garage. However, what is not clear is why the garage was specialized in repairing only trucks transporting liquefied petroleum gas.
Our client had not been operating a gas filling operation in that premises. The premises for the last few years has been operating as a garage, and till Thursday was still operating as a garage. The motor vehicle that caused this incident was trespassing into his property without his knowledge and consent.
The lawyer has confirmed that Kimathi is in the business of transporting LPG products and that last year he made applications to EPRA to get a license to operate a gas filling plant in the area, but the applications were rejected. He argues that he shelved the idea after EPRA rejected his applications on grounds that the site was not viable due to its closeness to the public. Residents say the place was an illegal gas filling plant which was preferred for its cheaper gas.
Most time wanga wanaoperate usiku, ndio gasi mingi wanga wanaleta kutoa, walikuwa wanajaza kwa cylinder, lakini mingi zilikuwa trailer kuleta kutoa.
Following the incident, government announced a raft of measures to ensure compliance in the sector. They include undertaking a fresh risk assessment of all LPG plants with a view of closing all non-compliant sites, demolish all illegal sites, immediate rollout government LPG growth strategy, strengthening the LPG data verification framework, among other measures.
All right, let's switch gears here. And services at the Buadi Hospital in Nairobi run the risk of being grounded due to huge debts owed by the hospital to suppliers.
Well, the outstanding bill is over 119 million shillings accrued over the duration of the administration of the Nairobi Metropolitan Services. Now, the hospital is also owed over 80 million shillings by the now defunct NHIF under the Linda Mama program. Well, these debts now mean that the hospital is struggling to offer premier services. services and complete pending programs. Brenda Wanga reports.
At the Buadi County Referral Hospital, patients, some treated and discharged, linger in the wards. The hospital administration tells us these patients prefer staying at the hospital than going home on account of the harsh economic times.
The discharge is still in the ward. We call them discharge-ins, are 40. Total inpatient for the last 24 hours up to now, 457, against a bed capacity of 347. Yeah.
So you can see we're struggling. And my brother, what does it say about the state of the nation and the state of the economy? When somebody has been treated, he has been discharged, but he would rather stay in hospital than go home. Because they are saying the situation at home is worse than at Buadi Hospital. At least here, they are guaranteed that the doctor here will give them a meal.
The burden of keeping such patients here is weighing heavily on the hospital that is already straining with huge debts. The hospital owes suppliers over 100 million shillings, debts stretching as far back as the days of the Nairobi Metropolitan Services Administration.
There is a question of pending bills of 119 million shillings that is owed by the NMS to various suppliers when they were in charge of the hospitals at that particular time. We also want to say that it is a heavy burden on our facilities here to have that debt on our books, yet they were incurred by an entity that has now been declared defunct, and the people who are responsible for that again are the people at State House. So we want them to facilitate these hospitals to be able to pay all those debts out.
Indeed, the NMS debts aren't the only financial strains facing the hospital. The hospital is also owed over 80 million shillings by the NHIF through the Linda Mama program. The hospital, which has a bed capacity of 452 people, is currently handling nearly twice that amount of patients on a daily basis. An expansion program that will see this capacity improved stands unfinished, as the hospital cannot afford to pay the contractors to complete the works that would also increase the hospital's capacity to handle emergency and critical care services.
We are being told that NHIF owes this facility alone 85 million shillings in unpaid remittances. So we want to also urge that NHIF needs to release this money so that we can continue some of the programs we are going on, what we are doing here.
The Nairobi County government, now in charge of running the health facility, acknowledges the challenges facing the institution, including the pending bills and delays in paying health workers' salaries. Nairobi County Secretary Patrick Analo, speaking to Citizen TV, says the debt does exist and is being audited by the Office of the President with the view of handing over the same to the county government. At the same time, the county says it is in the process of clearing January salary arrears. The county further states that the hospital's capacity to handle and dispense medicine has been improved with the contracting of KEMSA to supply it with medical equipment and drugs after clearing its 240 million shillings bill with the supplier. Brenda Wanga, Citizen TV.
Okay, switching to politics now. An ODM leader, Raila Odinga, has rubbished a High Court ruling by Justice Mugure Thande directing the IEBC selection panel to proceed with the process of reconstituting the polls body.
Speaking as he presided over the ODM membership recruitment drive at the Kamkunji grounds, Odinga said the reconstitution of IEBC will only happen through a bipartisan process contained in the final report of the National Dialogue Committee. Chematai Goin reports.
With the reconstitution of the polls body IEBC seemingly the next political battlefront, ODM leader Raila Odinga hit out at the court following an order directing the IEBC selection panel to immediately resume the process of reconstituting the commission, saying the political truce between Ruto and Odinga did not veto the constitution.
Nimesikia juzi mahakama moja anasema ati ile kamati ya mbele huko ya kuteua wale wanachama wa IEBC ataendelea kufanya kazi yake. Nasema hiyo ni upuzi. Ni upuzi. Ile kamati yaweze kufanya kazi, manake ilikuwa tayari imevunjwa na bunge.
And though the commission has remained a skeleton following the exit of all commissioners, Odinga maintained that only a bipartisan approach of reconstitution will be acceptable.
Sasa hii ripoti ya kina Wandai na Kalonzo ikienda mbele ya bunge ipitishwe, ndio tutaanza mambo ya IEBC. Walikubaliana ya kwamba mambo ya kuunda upya ya tume ya uchaguzi mpaka tushirikishwe, mpaka tukubaliane na majina yote.
With Parliament set to resume its sittings mid-February, it is not clear yet when the report will be tabled before the House for consideration, with the government in opposition still split on the question of approaches to countering the cost of living. ODM leaders continue to hit out at government policies, including housing.
Kuna mradi mkubwa sana wa ujenzi wa nyumba kwa sababu all the old council estates baba, almost 13 of them across these constituencies, kutokea Kibira mpaka huku Makadara na kuingineko, wanasema wanaenda kubomoa nyumba zile watu wanaishi ndani, wajenge nyumba zingine. Vile baba mwenyewe amesema, sisi hatupingi ujenzi wa nyumba. Tunasema wananchi lazima washirikishwe katika huo mpango ndio waelewe nini kinaendelea, si ndio?
Ruto mwenyewe anatuambia vizuri ya kwamba watoto wazazi walipe school fees na e-citizen. Kama saizi ndio wazazi wanapeleka kuni shuleni walipe nayo school fee, wanapeleka kuku ndio walipe nayo school fee, wanapeleka ng'ombe ndio walipe nayo school fee, wazazi watatumaje kule e-citizen?
During the membership drive targeting to have 10 million members by April, Odinga welcomed educationist Janet Ouko from the Jubilee Party.
Any freedom that this country is enjoying now is courtesy of you, courtesy of the ODM party members. Mtupigie makofi. Na ndio nikasema nataka kujiunga na nyinyi. Umesikia ile maneno wanasema ya mambo ya education? Si mnanielewa? Watajua hawajui.
Tunataka vijana na kina mama waingie ndani ya chama. Wale mko pale ndani, msizuie watu wengine kuingia ndani ya chama. Manake watu wakiingia ndani ya chama, ni chama inakuwa na nguvu zaidi. Niliambia watu wengine ya kwamba chama ni kama mto. Tunataka maji mpya yaingie ndani. Kwa hivyo hii exercise mwichukue ni kitu ambayo tunataka mwichukue serious, ili wananchi wetu hao wanachama waone ya kwamba sisi kama ODM tuna na nguvu ya kuunda serikali 2027.
Tujipange, tukomboe nchi yetu kutoka kwa minyororo ya wale wanatusumbua saa hii.
ODM intends to intensify the membership recruitment drive ahead of party elections in April. Chemutai Goin, Citizen TV.
Still on politics, and President William Ruto has reiterated his government's commitment to the restoration of agriculture as the economic backbone of the country.
Ruto, who was speaking in Western Kenya on Sunday, said he is pushing for the mechanization and reforms in this sector with the aim of making farmers earn more for their labor. And as Martin Munene reports, the president has dismissed claims of privatization of sugar mills in the Western Belt.
President William Ruto was in Kakamega on Sunday, where he graced an interdenominational prayer service at the approved school grounds. President Ruto making a case for his policies in agriculture, saying he hopes to increase production in the sector by mechanizing agriculture.
Governors washirikiane na Wizara ya Kilimo ndio tuhakikishe ya kwamba tuko na matrakta ya kutusaidia kumechanize our farming, ndio tuongeze mapato na turahisishe uzalishaji wa chakula.
The president saying with the payment of debts owed to sugarcane farmers in the region and other reforms being instituted in the industry, Kenya could soon stop its over-reliance on sugar imports.
Nitaweka pesa bilioni 3 kwa hizi makampuni zetu ya cane development kusaidia wakulima kuzalisha sasa miwa, ndio tuweze kupata sukari ya kutosha, tuache kuagiza sukari kutoka Brazil, sijui Egypt, sijui wapi. Hawa wakulima wetu watuzalishie sukari, tununue sukari ya Kenya, tuache kuagiza sukari kutoka nje.
The president also assuring the locals that there would be no privatization of sugar mills but bringing in of strategic investors.
Viongozi wengine wanakuja wanaongelesha raia mambo ya hewa ya bure. Mtu anakuja hapa anasema hapana, unajua sasa kampuni yetu inataka kuuzwa, kampuni yetu inataka kuuzwa. Wacha niwaambie nikiwa kanisani, hakuna kampuni ya sukari itauziwa mtu. There will be no sale of any sugar factory.
Leaders from the region backing the president's efforts to revive the sugar sector and his calls for the Luhya nation unity.
To what at different times of your tour wamekuwa na wewe, giving a message of hope to our people for the future. Na wewe mwenyewe umekuwa mstari wa mbele kuhimiza ya kwamba lazima tuungane, ndio tuungane na Wakenya wengine kuleta maendeleo kwa nchi yetu.
I want to commend the leadership of Western. They have spoken here. They have done a good job. They are coming together. We are breaking away from the hangover of being divided. It is a tremendous step in the right direction, and we should all embrace it so that we can be united as one people and as one nation.
At the same event, the Prime Cabinet Secretary defended former IEBC Chair Wafula Chebukati, saying he too as a Kenyan has the right to seek appointment as a judge. This coming on the backdrop of Opposition Chief Raila Odinga's claims that there is a plot to have Chebukati replace Martha Koome as Chief Justice once she leaves office. Martin Munene, Citizen TV.
All right, switching gears here, and the owner of an 8-acre parcel of land in Loresho is accusing former Nairobi Provincial Commissioner Davis Nathan Chelogoi of defying court orders in continuing to illegally occupy the parcel of land.
Well, Chelogoi is accused of frustrating businessman Ashok Kumar Rupshi. Despite a high court judgment and several court orders that directed the former PC to surrender the property to Ashok, who the court ruled is the genuine owner of the land. Ayub Abdikadir reports.
The land battle dates back to 2009 with High Court case number 312 between Ashok Kumar Rupshi, Hiten Kumar and the late Jacob Juma. A determination was made that a declaration be and is hereby issued that the plaintiffs are the legal owners of the parcel of land by virtue of transfer dated the 21st of March 2007 and registered in the Lands Registry. A declaration be and is hereby issued that the title held by the first defendant is fake and fraudulent, and therefore the first defendant has no legal right to claim ownership, and that the plaintiff be awarded general damages for trespass of Kenya shillings 50 million. With that hurdle out of the way, Ashok Shah sought access to the 8-acre piece of land, but he encountered another hurdle when he was informed of another ownership dispute, this time that of former Nairobi Provincial Commissioner Davis Nathan Chelogoi. And when the office of the Chief Land Registrar summoned the parties, Chelogoi was absent, and the registrar made a decision that the documents presented by Ashok Kumar are genuine and forms part of the records held at the Land Registry. The office is cognizant of the fact that the case number 312 of 2009 declared that Ashok Kumar and Hiten Kumar are the legitimate owners of the parcel of land. The High Court issued an arrest warrant against Chelogoi after failing to appear in court. Magistrate Dolphina Alego issued the arrest warrant after Chelogoi failed to appear in court for plea taking, where he was jointly charged alongside Assistant Deputy Director in the Lands Administration Office, Andrew Aseri Kirongo, both charged with conspiracy to defraud a parcel of land valued at more than 1 billion Kenya shillings. Kirongo was further charged for fraudulently obtaining a land registration number, an abuse of office contrary to Section 101 of the Penal Code. It is not clear why a communication from Gigiri Sub-County Police Headquarters to the Regional Commander's Office dated the 25th of January that verified the court order and the number of police officers needed to effect it was not acted upon. We also got a copy of a police communication to all police posts and bases on Chelogoi for police to trace and apprehend him. When we visited the Loresho land in search of answers, we met a group of people keeping guard at the piece of land.
So they are damaging my property over there. Then if I go there, they already threatened me. In presence of the police, they threatened me. And I can't access to my property. We went to the OCS Spring Valley. And OCS Spring Valley was supposed to take action on them, but he said now he had to get the permission from the county commissioner. And once they approve it, then we do our job.
Whatever we can see this morning, and actually of late, of all these days, it is a classical example of impunity in our country, whereby a Kenyan whose land is in the hands of goons, the same Kenyan is armed with a court order and a court judgment that has re-emphasized the fact that he is the legitimate owner of his property.
You know, investors are frustrated in this country. I am also one of the very big investors. I am developing, with other foreign investors, I am developing a very big industrial park. And those investors are surprised that, Mr. Shah, you are here, you are a Kenyan citizen, you are living in Kenya, and you are not getting justice when you have the property in your own name. So this is really frustrating us all.
Ashok's predicaments lift the lead on blatant disobedience of the rule of law by agencies and an apparent disregard by the police in effecting court orders. Ayub Abdikadir, Citizen TV.
Some sad news to report here, and the Anti-Corruption Court in Mombasa has issued a summons to former Mandera South MP Adan Haji Sheikh to appear before it on the 13th of February to answer to charges of corruption, according to files presented to the EACC.
Well, the former legislator is accused of having acquired 51.4 million shillings through the issuance of tenders to offer conference and accommodation services to Kwale County government through a hotel where he is registered as one of the directors. Laura Otieno reports Haji is accused of contravening Section 43 of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act for failing to declare conflict of interest during the tender awarding process.
According to investigations conducted by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, the former MP is accused that during his tenure as the Kwale County Executive Committee member for tourism, he failed to disclose ties with Lofter Resort Limited, a hotel that was pre-qualified and awarded contracts to offer accommodation and conference services to Kwale County government on diverse dates between May 10, 2013 and May 10, 2017. Further investigations revealed that Haji, his wife Fatuma Ibrahim Roba, and son Ali Bashir Adan Khalif were registered as directors of Lofter Resort Limited, which received a total of 51,456,006 shillings from Kwale County government in the period under review. For failing to declare a conflict of interest during the tendering process, Haji was found to have contravened Section 42 and 48 of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act of 2003. The anti-graft watchdog now says that the former legislator has been evading arrest since December 2023 after the Director of Public Prosecutions gave a green light to the recommendations by EACC to charge Adan Haji before the Mombasa Anti-Corruption Court. Following his disappearance, the EACC registered the charge sheet at the Mombasa court and has since secured summons compelling the former legislator to appear before it on 13th February 2024. Laura Otieno, Citizen TV.
All right, here's the sad news I was telling you about earlier on. 5 people died while scores were injured after a 14-seater matatu collided with a lorry on the Nyahururu Nyeri Road on Saturday night.
Well, the matatu was ferrying members of St. Peter's Catholic Church in Muranga who were coming from a prayer meeting at the Subukia Shrine. According to survivors, the driver of the lorry appeared to have lost control and was speeding down a sloppy stretch, ramming into the 14-seater matatu, killing 4 people on the spot. Now, the injured were treated at various hospitals, with the bodies of the deceased taken to the Nyahururu County morgue.
Tulikuwa tumetoka nyumbani jana kama saa 10. Tulikuwa tunakuja maombi Sirain Subukia. Saa tukawa na mchana mwema, tukaomba. Lakini tukisafiri kurundi, tukapatana na accident pale Dalago. Tulela ilikuja, ikatugonga, ikakosa mwelekeo. Lakini tulipata werovisas, wakatukuchukua wakatuleta hospitali.
We have ensured that wametibiwa, wengine wameenda nyumbani na kuna mwingine tumetransfer Mathari. Kuna wengine walipata hiyo accident wakapelekwa Nyeri Hospital. Kwa hivyo mimi kama mama county Nyandarua nataka kuwaambia watu wa Murang'a poleni sana.
Praying for the quick recovery of the injured.
Extremely sad there.
Yeah, indeed. On that note, we're going to take our first break here on Sunday Live. Let you know there's plenty more ahead, including our weekly feature of Citizen Planet.
That's right. Coming up shortly.
Indeed. Keep tweeting at Koinange Jeff.
At Vicky Rubadiri.
At Citizen TV Kenya. The hashtag is Sunday Live. Sunday Live takes a break. We'll be back. In the meantime, coming up. Coming up. Freed baby Sakini's grandmother now faces challenge of reintegrating into society.
Sí, ¿vos de qué parte sos?
Yo de aquí, de la ciudad.
Unataka lori ya pesa ngapi?
Just 500,000.
Haina shida. Kale kagari ka white ndio kako.
Makes your life kidogo better.
It's not like any other fruit. Everyone believes that an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Manze, you're heaven sent.
It is exactly 34 minutes past the hour. Welcome back to Sunday Live here at Citizen Television. Now, security officials in Marani are on high alert as baby Sagini's grandmother, Raila Nyahururu, is set to be reintegrated back into the village after her acquittal by the Court of Appeal this past Friday, the 2nd of February.
Well, Citizen TV's Crispin Otieno visited the village and brings us more.
On Friday, a few minutes after release from Kisii women prisons, this was Raila Nyahururu's face. She was happy, and it showed outside the Kisii court cells. The 80-year-old grandma secured her freedom after a year behind bars, following her conviction for having aided the gouging of baby Sagini's eyes. However, Nyahururu, through her lawyers, successfully convinced the courts that she was innocent, and so she was freed on appeal.
Mimi hakuna kitu. Si mimi peke yake nyumba yangu. Hakuna mtoto. Si mtoto hii ni mchukuu, ni yangu. Mungu anatoa nyumba ya chera. Asanti. Anakoka saiti. Hakuna maneno ngine.
The reasoning was that the evidence of one of the witnesses was an incompetent witness because she was having challenges to do with the mental disability.
Baby Sagini's grandmother was set to go back to Ikuruma village. We asked about her security back home a year after the shocking incident.
I had not trained my mind into the issue of her security, but being experienced and knowing where we come from, we will not take chances.
We then traveled to Ikuruma village in Marani to ascertain whether she actually spent the night there after her release from custody. Thomas Ongaga, Sagini's father, sat alone between his house and his mother's home, hoping to reunite with Raila Nyahururu after her acquittal. She was yet to arrive.
Mimi naambia mama, rudi akae, I feel good,
hii familia kama iko na shida fulani, pengine tutaangazia hayo maneno ili tuweze kuona kama tutamtengenezea ile chumba.
The village pensively awaits Nyahurur's return, and the house she calls home is on the verge of collapse, with cracks visible on all walls. We asked residents of Ikuruma village whether they will accept her back.
Security ya kutosha iko hapa. Tuko na chief wetu hapa Ochogo, tuko na sub chief Palma, wamehakikisha kwamba usalama wa mama umekamilishwa.
Sio inawezekana, sio yeye juu ni mzee. Sasa inawezekana ni mambo ya fitina ya nyumbani. Sasa tumefurahia kufunguliwa kwake.
Lakini maisha ya yule mtoto ilikuwa imeharibika. Serikali angalie maneno, ione vile itasaidia mtoto Sagini na familia yake.
The case had literally split the entire family down the middle. Baby Sagini, together with his sister, are under the care of the national government, awaiting reintegration. It is more than 24 hours since Court of Appeal acquitted Nyahururu. She is yet to be seen in this village. Locals say they're ready to welcome her back again into the society, despite her initial conviction. Crispin Otieno for Citizen TV, Ikuruma Village, Kisii County.
Now, family and friends of the late President Daniel Arap Moi marked the 4th anniversary since the death of Kenya's second president.
Well, the family converged at the late president's home in Kabarak for a prayer service. The late president, who died on the 4th of February 2020, is remembered for his contribution in education, the agricultural sector, and for uniting the country.
From the clergy, from the Kabrak families, from the friends who are here, the future is bright. God holds Mzee Moi's family in good place.
This man walked closely with you. This man stood firm and walked in love of God. He demonstrated a strong Christian character.
I have set the Lord always before me, because he is at my right hand, I shall not be moved. Therefore my heart is glad, and my glory rejoices. My flesh also will
commit your way to the Lord, trust in him also, and he will do it. He will make your righteousness, your pursuit of right standing with God, like the light.
At the same time, Namibia's Vice President Mangolo Mbumba has been sworn in as the country's interim president following the death of President Hage Geingob from cancer.
Well, President Geingob died earlier on Sunday at the age of 82 while receiving medical treatment at a hospital in the capital, Windhoek. Geingob was first sworn in as president in 2015, but had served in top political positions since independence in 1990. Well, leaders from around the world have paid tribute to the late president, with Kenya's President William Ruto describing Geingob as a distinguished leader who served the people of Namibia with focus and dedication. In his tribute, President Uhuru Kenyatta termed him as a distinguished servant of the people.
Raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
Thank you.
Coming up in our weekend series, Citizen Planet, we tell you how women in Dundori are increasing forest cover in Mau Forest.
Sí, ¿vos de qué parte sos?
Yo de aquí.
Ladies and gentlemen, a momentous celebration is here. Citizen Digital proudly marks its 2nd anniversary with an incredible milestone.
You know what? You struck gold. If you were already going out with her, why were you keeping it all a secret?
But fate has other plans.
I don't know how much longer I can keep lying about this. Sophia, I don't think you could get ourselves into even more trouble.
A riveting story of obsession, deceit, and love. Cabo, every Sunday to Wednesday at 10 p.m.
It is exactly 47 minutes past the hour. Welcome back to Sunday Live here at Citizen Television. On to our feature of the evening. And women in the Mau Forest are taking matters into their own hands and are driving efforts to increase forest cover in the critical water tower.
Well, their area of focus is Dundori Forest, one of the 6 western forest blocks of Nakuru County that plays a critical role in regional biodiversity conservation and ecosystem services. They also take things a step further, training interested individuals in preparing seed beds and seedlings for both exotic and indigenous tree species. Agnes Olo has this week's Citizen Planet.
We are received at a lady's adopted block at Dundori Tree Nursery in Dundori Forest. Their excitement is undeniable.
Iko na raha sana kwa sababu naonanga hii kazi ya upandaji wa miti iko na faida. Tukienda upande wa hewa inanipa hewa safi. Tukienda upande wa mvua inavuruta mvua, tunapata chakula, tunalisha watoto. Ndio maana unaona hata sisi tumeshiba.
Tulikuwa tukifanya kibarua, tunaenda kwa mashamba ya watu ambao walikuwa na mahali kiasi. Sasa vile tuliletewa hizo semina, tukaona hii kazi ni nzuri kuliko ya kwenda kulima. Na tena sio hivyo tu, tukiuza miti tunatafutaga wengine wenye wanaenda huko kibarua, tunawapea kazi, kwa hivyo hata wao tunakuwa faida kwao.
Apart from selling seedlings, the team also equips groups and individuals with skills on tree nursery and seedling preparations as well as tree growing.
Hii kamiti huwezi funika ati hapa juu hivi, lazima inaanza chini hivi. Ndio kwa hiyo pahali kama sisi kamegusa unakachindilia chini kasiingize hewa ndani.
Tukitoka hapa kimea ikishika mapepo ikianza kufanya nini, sasa kazi yenyewe inakuwa ni ya kulimia na maji. Kwa sababu ukiduga ile kashimo umewacha vitaka imekuwa na hewa.
Not just that, the men in the group are mandated to play a watchdog role as the trees grow.
Sababu kama hizi miti mnaona hapa, tukisha ipanda kuweka kwa nasari kupeleka msituni, tunaenda tunapeleka na tunailinda mpaka ikue. Ijapokuwa wale wanakata kiboja moja ni vijana hawa wadogo hajui umuhimu wa miti.
Our strategy is to support concerted management of natural resources. The communities also experience the side effects, the damage, the loss when nature is damaged.
The big problem we have now is climate change, and you can measure that. There are some scientists who do modeling to see by planting so many trees, ensuring that these areas are forested. You can calculate and find out how much carbon have we reduced from the atmosphere.
Kenya Forest Service also benefits from the exercise, further incorporating the group in the KFS plantation and establishment livelihood improvement system, PELIS.
Kama area sasa tumesimama ni ya KFS. Wametupa area ya nursery na sisi wakati tunauza hii miti tunawapea 10% wanaingiza kwa msitu. Jano KFS kawa na ushirikiano na community huko ndani wa kilima kidogo viazi na maharagwe. Baada ya miaka 3 community wanatoka, KFS inaendelea kulinda hiyo msitu.
It is a way the community benefits by planting trees, and they can also help us in taking care of the trees, because you could imagine if there was no cultivation happening here, this could be a very bushy area.
The next collaboration phase of the African-French Development AFD program and community is to explore different avenues to improve livelihoods.
With regard to on-tree farming, which is a phase 2 on the project, there's also support to be able to plant certain food trees and fodder crops on the farm. And these have to be purchased, mobilized and planted on the farms.
This is one success story of what happens when the government and the private sectors join forces. The innovative plan by Kenya Forest Service and AFD seeks to promote conservation of Dondori forest through community involvement with the hope that it will slowly improve forest cover in the area and promote a culture of conservation amongst those who call this Livy Haven home. Agnes Olokachola, Citizen TV.
Former Harambee Stars captain Dennis Oliech throws his hat in the ring for FKF presidency.
Kwa simu yako, ingia www.shabiki.com. Fungua jackpots, click on super jackpots. Chambua game zako safi, review bit slip yako, ukiona iko sawa, place bet. Alafu sasa unategea games zichezwe. Biki super jackpot, ni time yako.
Mina dai wote twenda hivi, to bet.
Not for persons under the age of 18. Shabiki.com is authorized and regulated by BCLB license number 587.
It is exactly 3 minutes to the top of the hour. Welcome back to Sunday Live, right here on Citizen Television. On to sports news. Vicky?
Okay, our viewers would know why we're laughing, but Muranga Seals' rough patch in the FKF Premier League continues after they lost 3-2 at home to Bandari FC from Mombasa. Muranga had the perfect start in the match, scoring the opener in the 6th minute through striker Tyson Kapchanga. 5 minutes later, Bandari were level with a goal by Umaru Kasumba for a 1-1 score at halftime. In the second half, Seals were in the lead again in the 66th minute, but the lead lasted only 4 minutes as new Bandari signing Francis Kahiro drew the team's level in the 70th minute. The sucker punch for Muranga Seal was delivered by Hamisi Wafalu, who scored the winner for Bandari deep in stoppage time. Seal has not won a match in the last 10 league matches.
At the same time, former Harambee Stars captain Dennis "The Menace" Oliech has called on the Kenya Football Federation to treat football legends better if Kenya is to achieve any milestones in football. Oliech was the only football legend from Kenya at the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations in the Ivory Coast, as other countries sent their former football stars to the competition as ambassadors. Oliech was part of the football guests of mobile phone company Techno, who organized a charity match to raise additional funds to build 100 football fields in Africa. Our very own Michael Kimi with the details. Take a listen.
The Africa Cup of Nations in Ivory Coast has attracted tens of former Africa football stars on various duties during the tournament. Some are working as analysts, while some are guests of the Confederation of Africa Football CAF and their partners. This is where Kenyan legend Dennis Oliech found himself, spending time with the likes of JJ Okocha of Nigeria, Asamoah Gyan of Ghana, El Hadji Diouf of Senegal, and Emmanuel Adebayo of Togo, among others. Oliech was a star of the show in the Africa Legends match organized by Techno. Techno has put a budget of $150 million, roughly 24 billion Kenya shillings, over the next 5 years to build 100 football fields in Pan-African countries. For every goal scored in the Legends match, the company put an additional $10,000 in the project. Oliech scored 2 goals with 1 assist to help his team win 3-2. The Legends were joined by selected guests and journalists across Africa in the charity match. Playing in the afternoon heat definitely took a toll on most of us who've not played football in a long time. But what matters most is a charity event that has raised $50,000 to construct pitches across Africa.
Kujenga uwanja, hiyo ni kitu ya federation na FIFA. Au wanasaidia maybe to sponsorship, unaelewa? Maybe ni kama club, maybe na Hope Techno, maybe wanaweza sponsor team kama Gor, unaelewa, team kama FC. Unaelewa?
Olit says he's delighted to be among so many Africa legends, though he was embarrassed to answer some of the questions from his peers.
I feel happy, but wananiuliza tu swali moja saa yote. Umekuja kama federation, mpaka ninasikia hivyo kuambia ni Techno. So hawa wanajua when you are a legend, umemaliza ball, unaenda kwa federation, unasaidia the youth. But sisi yetu ni tofauti. Legend unaachwa nje.
Oliech was impressed by Ivory Coast, a country that has a gross domestic product of $79 billion as compared to Kenya's GDP of $279 billion at the end of 2023. Despite the huge difference, they have managed to build world-class stadia for AFCON despite not having proper football infrastructure at the grassroots level.
Yani hao wakipata tu kawanjo tu kadogo wanacheza ball, unaelewa? So huku ni West Africa, poverty iko high, unaelewa? Wesi kama sisi Kenya unaambiwa ati usome utakuwa si juu mdosi wa nini mdosi wa sio. Huku hakuna. Huku anajua is two things, football na maji kutoa uende ufanye job nje.
He's now calling on all stakeholders to join forces to speed up the preparations for AFCON 2027 to be hosted by Tanzania, Uganda and Kenya.
Nimekuwa na msawa FIFA ametuambia we have to be ready. We have to be ready in the next 2 years. If you're not ready, haiko kwetu.
Oliech believes that things must be done differently, especially at the heart of Kenyan football, the Kenya Football Federation. He wants to be part of that change in the leadership of the federation.
Tumeamua next election tuko kwa Bulletin box, tuko na mtu kama Marish, tuko na Hussein na kuna mimi. So tuko horses watatu. Either mmoja wetu ni atasimama ama tutajoin wote. So maybe ndo kitu watu wajui, but hatuwezi wachilia hii time iende.
The federation elections are slated for later in the year, with several candidates already throwing their hat in the ring. By Kokinyi for Citizen TV.